how did everybody get started into this industry? What was your main, either your entry point, and also why? Why the arts and cultural sector?
Why are we doing this?
Yeah. Maanuv, if you go first.
I guess my entry was pretty conventional. Like, I was just at school, and I decided I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
Pretty early on, and I've been trying to work out why, and I don't actually know, but
It wasn't someone you saw, some influence?
I think it was probably Bollywood films, actually. It was probably Bollywood films, and also I thought it was really cool. I would watch maybe like sometimes like I remember when I was must have been 7, and the 8-year-olds year above us did like a variety show above us, and one guy came out, and I thought he was really cool, and I was like, that seems really fun. Wow. And then I'd watch these Bollywood films. Our family would watch loads, and I just think it looked really fun. And then when I was about 15, I think, and I didn't really know how or what what to do. And then at 15, I heard of this thing called drama school, and I was like, what are you talking about? Because I don't.
School for acting.
I was I thought it was just uni, you go do this thing at uni, and I was like, what? And then I was reading. It was Central that I was reading the play. They were like, and then you'll do this play and that play, and then you'll do voice. And I'm like, shut up, no way.
What about you, Danielle?
Kind of unconventional, I think. So similar to you, I got into it because my mum was a nurse, and they don't do them anymore, which is such. She used to get like these vouchers for all these West End shows.
Wow.
So it'd be like half
Really?
the money, yeah.
Wow.
And so it'd be like,
Really?
yeah, I know, it was a thing.
Because my mum was a nurse. I don't remember that.
I'm sorry, you have to talk to your mum about that one.
Yeah.
But that's how I got to see lots of shows. And also my mum loves a musical, right? So I grew up with musicals on in the house, like all of them. Sound of Music was
I love it.
Carmen Jones. Like, she was from a young age, I realised she was always showing me like images of myself from very young. So I didn't go into the industry feeling like I was never not going to be part of it, because I always saw it. So it was normal for me because I saw like Dorothy Dandridge and like all those films.
That's
amazing.
Really young.
Wow.
But it's down to her really, because she just enjoyed it. She didn't think I was going to be like, I want a job in it. She was just enjoy it. So like we saw Porgy and Bess, for example.
No way, that's so cool.
Yeah, from a young age. So I always saw a version of me and thought, I can do that. I could give that a go.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Yeah. What about you? Because you didn't come into acting at first, did you?
Yeah, I feel like this is a gradient of
Nice.
conventional. No, very unconventional. I got into acting through my love of dance movement. I guess I'll speak about how I got into dance and then get into that. I've always been interested in movies and telling stories. Because it feels like a form of escapism. My parents were constantly working. They were like doing nail shops, restaurants, all the kind of British, Southeast Asian things to do stereotypically. So myself and my brother, we were always by ourselves. My brother would be off playing football or something. I'd be at home watching TV, Sky Movies, was it 301 or whatever it was? It's like Sky Movies, whatever's on's on, you know? And I just fell in love with emotion, I think. And back then I was really bad with words, so I didn't act because I was so afraid.
But you wanted to act even from then?
I didn't. No, I don't. I think I wanted to tell stories. So, but I really connected with movement. Movement was my thing. And so I went to a maths school that had a performing arts side.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were
Explain, I don't understand. A maths school.
As in, there were specialists in maths and technology, but the performing arts side was
like, I'm doing maths on a Saturday, but then there's a performing arts.
No.
Okay.
No, I should have been more clear.
So I'm back in the room. Okay, cool.
But so I got into the arts and performing arts through my teacher. Shout out Miss Lee. She was.
Yep.
She was a G.
Miss Lee's a G.
And so I just did like musicals here and there and all that kind of stuff, and then got into a dance school and just trained, and university, then to a conservatoire, and chipped away at this body, and now it hurts a lot. But
oh wow,
it's alright, guys. I'm still doing things. and then started to find my voice a bit more.
Yeah.
Started to realise actually, I can act and can do these things, and if I give myself permission to.
I think what happens a lot, I think you're right, we say yes to a lot of things when you first start out. And I don't think anyone teaches us that you don't have to do that. There's no like...
Well, sometimes the opposite.
Yeah.
Sometimes you should do everything.
Yeah. I was told
Right?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told that.
That's the thing. So you kind of, it gives you a false sense of security, and then you end up in jobs that deep in your heart you wouldn't want to be in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I've learned now, I've kind of like adopted this phrase, and I'll share it with everyone. Like saying no is saying yes to you, because it's just like, actually, that's what I've taken from being in jobs where you look around and you're like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And people don't you turn up on the day, and there's only a few of you, and they don't. I'm not going to go into details. They don't even know which one of you they put in the role.
Yeah,
I've been in them jobs.
Real, yeah.
Yes, I've been in them ones, and the ones where you just know that while you're there to tick the box. We've done them, and I'm grateful for that experience, because it's taught me to know what I don't want to do, and I have grown from it. I really have grown from it. So I know now that I want to tell stories and be part of things that are fruitful, be part of rooms where I grow in, and like just companies that that you connect with.
Is that why you started the theatre company that you did?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's part. I think part of the.
What's the name of your theatre company?
Thank you. Maanuv Theatre Company, all black, all female Shakespeare company.
Wow.
And we set it up during the pandemic, and 4 of us all together, Maisie Jade and Gabrielle Brooks as well.
What about the rest of you? Was there something a moment or where you just thought, I'm not going to take this anymore, or something empowering for yourself?
Well, God, I mean, when I first graduated, I did. This isn't acting, but I did so many downtime jobs.
Yeah.
Like I was dressed up as a giant prawn to try and sell sushi.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? All of this sort of stuff. Yeah, I didn't have any money.
Sorry.
Yeah, laugh. It's mad.
I'm so sorry.
It's mad.
I'm trying to be like supportive. Go, really? Oh my god.
No, yeah, no,
Sorry.
it's not that.
I don't mean to laugh at
your. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
The most horrible thing about that was I just finished a play in Northampton, right, but I was broke. I think because I'd spent all my money, and I needed to pay my rent quickly, and I saw that this thing was hiring. It's like, go dress up as a prawn and open this new sushi restaurant in Soho for 3 hours, whatever. We'll give you 90 quid. I was like, okay, great. And the director.
Sorry, there was a director.
No. So I just did that, right? And I was.
I thought you meant there was a director.
It was a big operation, okay? There was a lot of value in that. No, the director of the play I'd just done walked past.
No.
And I shouted, I went, oh, James, hey. And I've never seen a man look more scared in my whole life, because there's a massive prawn shouting his name across the street. And he went, I'm not interested. And I had to go, no, it's me, Maanuv, from the play. And he went, oh, hey, man. And then walked away. And I was like, I maybe shouldn't dress up as a giant prawn anymore. I should maybe try and be more careful with my money or something. So I'd have to do this ever again. Do you know what I mean? And that was a real moment for me when I was like, I can't maybe do that, because there was also there was also something like when I said the form is that you go down to London, you work in a bar, you do that. There's something like at drama school, I think it's quite toxic, but there's something like that sometimes people romanticize the hustle of all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Such a good
And they're like, okay, that's what, because you see those movies like Tick Tick Boom just now, everyone's cleaning tables, trying to work their thing and do their thing, and you have to do that, right? Yeah. But when it becomes detrimental to your head, you've got to start being careful. You've got to start growing up in other ways. Do you know what I mean? So I think that was it's not a moment. I mean, I hear all of that stuff you were saying. And I've been in those rooms, but that was a moment, I think, when I went, okay, you've got. It's maybe not cool to be broke all the time.
Tell us more about the dance world in that respect of,
What I wouldn't do?
Yeah, like now.
Yeah, I'd say probably be the person to tick the box. That is, within the dance world, it's the jobs are limited, as within the acting world, and with a lot of the organisations that run the industry, they tend to be white. I say that reserved, but it's the truth. And Yeah, like I think I don't audition within the dance world as much as I used to. And I think it comes from a place of, if there's another East to Southeast Asian male, I'm probably auditioning against them.
Yeah. Shout out Kevin Gary. He's an actor, and yeah, he's been on an interesting journey where it's like, oh, you look like the other person we just auditioned.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so dehumanizing.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't say no one's name. It's just like, yeah, you look like the other bloke that just walked in 5 minutes ago. You know.
There's only one type of like South Asian person that there was room for a very long time. Do you know what I mean? Like there's one stereotype that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And if you're not that, there was no, it has changed now, I think. But when I first started, there was no room for nuance. And that's why you felt like you could be fighting against every other kind of brown person around, which is fine because I met them all in auditions and now we're all really close mates and that's great, right? But you kind of like, oh, well, I'm not going to get it because not only am I not, not only is there one role, but there's one type of role. It's not like, and if you don't fit that, then you're going in anyway, and then it becomes all personal because you are only giving yourself, right? You got nothing else to give, and they're going, not only are you not right for this role, at the moment you're probably not even right for like any of the roles that we're going to throw your way. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like, because they're.
This is why I did Hear Me Now. So with the first book, I remember speaking to, again, I'm not in the acting world. I really didn't know. But I was speaking to like a lot of people, and we knew that the bigger issues was like the underrepresentation on the stage or TV. But I was like, what's the experience when you're walking into an audition space, for instance, when the majority of the people that will be looking back at you are white, like if there's a casting director or a director or whatever. And for them, a lot of the actors were saying, so not only are you there to audition for whatever the part is, but you're also being judged or looked at, kind of thing. And so the auditions that from the first book, very similar to the second, was like, okay, what part do you want to play? If you've only got 3 minutes. And so we had like a Indian girl saying, I'd love to play a country music star. I actually like country music. But would I ever play a part where a brown girl was a country music star? Probably not. So my black guy wanted to be an astronaut. He goes, I'm so interested in space. Again, would I ever play an astronaut, So that's what we did with the auditions. It was like, cool, in the monologues, write about it then, So what we did with the audition monologues, very, exactly the same format as book 2, was it was the actors that told the writers the storyline and the narrative. Then the writers were it wasn't like writers just coming up with audition monologues, we put it in the book. It was hearing from actors, if you had 3 minutes or 4 minutes, what would it be? What could you do, And the imagination, it was just wild, it was amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna say no to a lot of things. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend my time, because I used to do producing for free. Like I would get on that Grantium and write funding bids for hours for free because it was like, yeah, I need to build my networks. But then there came a moment where it was like, nah, free's not feeding me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Opportunities not paying my bills,
It's surrounding yourself with your tribe, your people.
Yeah.
I saw a great, I can't remember what she said, Taraji P. Henson posted something on Instagram literally last night about being around good energy. Because if you're not, they're going to rain, their cloud is going to take over your space, and it's going to rain on you eventually. That's that's what she was saying. Be around sunshine, people that uplift you. I think we've all been in environments outside of acting where it's like, this isn't the energy I want to surround myself with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that comes again with age of like, actually, it's okay just to have a few people. You don't have to be friends with everybody.
But especially like in the industry, because because I think some parts of the industry can be quite cliquey. There's a bunch of people that know each other and whatever, and I ain't part of anyone's clique, and I'm just like, hey, you know what? I'm my own. Just be me and not caring. And trying to establish industry relationships that are really authentic.
Exactly.
Just super authentic. And there are like amazing people out there.
I think for me, like I grew up like assimilating myself into society, and that's come from my parents who told me to just do that. And so I'd say I only started to find my voice like the past 3 or 4 years. And that, there are times where I feel paralyzed because I'm not able to, I can't find the words to bring that out, So I'm doing this instead, instead of saying it. But I don't know where I was going with this.
And when you say assimilate, what do you? Because I think I'm the same. I think what do you mean by that?
I mean, my parents were refugees, so like we from the get-go we're different.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my parents were like, you need to make friends, you need to fit in, exactly.
Basically, don't stand out, fit
Don't
in
stand
and
out.
be like everybody and
Yeah.
move like everybody.
So much pressure.
Yeah.
So much pressure. And we like, I don't know, but for me, because my parents were refugees, we weren't allowed to fail. Again, there's another thing like that, right?
Yeah.
And so, the pressures of society telling you should be like this.
Be a certain way and quash down your origins, right?
My origins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely, right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm just like, F it to a lot of things. That's a lot of the things that, I think that's it. Like, I get put in positions where I would usually just say because it could be something interesting, which, to some extent is saying yes and. But then also it would lead me to things that make me so uncomfortable, but I'm just like putting a smile on my face because, it's good for me.
Yeah.
And it comes from, my parents telling me, make money is fine,
Yeah. So what are you most proud of that you've done in this industry or whatever for you?
Me personally, or all of us, okay.
No, all of us, but just following on from what you're saying.
Most proud of. Sounds a bit like cliche, but actually just giving myself the stamp of like, you're doing good. You're doing what you want to do, and I think that's on the tail end of having assimilated myself into society for so long.
Yeah.
I can now say to myself, right, like you're doing what you want to do, and that's like.
And you're proud of yourself for doing that.
Hell yeah! Even it's a new journey for me. But at the same time, it's like I'm excited,
Yeah. This is why we wanted to talk about like we're not just one thing. Like there's so many different things that, and to me that's a part of thriving as well. Is that actually I fell into producing. I didn't come into, as I said, the art sector in a traditional way. It was I'd done other things, and and I came into the arts world really in my 30s. And so for me it was so different, and and I didn't know anybody, anything like that, and Hear Me Now was one of those moments. I remember being on the overground from Norwich Junction to Shoreditch High Street, going to the Tamasha offices, and it's a 40-minute journey, and I remember just talking myself in and out of approaching the then artistic director, Ben Kennedy, about this idea of Hear Me Now. And on the train journey, I was like, nah, it's ridiculous. It's just, who am I? Like, and then go, no, TT, like, it's a good idea. No, it's not, it's stupid. Like, literally, like, so if you see me, you could just see me, like, moving my head. Because I was just talking to myself, like, no word of a lie. Yeah. And I think the proudest moment for me is forgetting all about that and just really stepping into my own and just be like, I'm just gonna have this conversation with Deborah and Tamasha, and Finn, and be like, let's do this. And it so happened that they had a similar idea, and that's how we worked together.
As creators, we never ask ourselves this question.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
So that in itself,
that's why I'm like, take up space. Another buzzword, take up space.
I'm glad I've had this time to like reflect and be like, what am I? Because I don't think I've sat and thought that, and I think I'm proud of like just doing it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
When you think of how many people we meet in this industry along the way who, for whatever reason don't continue, sometimes it's out of choice, sometimes it's because it's not worked out, and that we've decided to stick at it. We've decided to do those jobs that we didn't like. We decided to take the risk and be like, I'm doing this, but I'm proud that I stuck at it, and I found back to the tribe and my people that we kind of take each other along and we support each other.
Is your tribe in the industry?
And the thing is, like, I think you need that. I think you need some form of a tribe in the industry and outside. So you've got your people that be like, hey, I've had this come through. Hey, can you help me talk through why I'm anxious about it? Or just little things like that, or just life. And during lockdown, there was a lot of online play reading groups. And I remember attending one, and I was the only one in the play reading group, and I just remember thinking, I think it's something about being at home and feeling like that. It was a different feeling, and I was like, I'm really aware of it here at home when I'm not even leaving the house. So I set up a black play reading group with my friend Akko, and that's formed a whole other tribe of people.
Wow, nice.
And I'm proud that I managed to connect with these people. Now they're all working, they're all doing stuff. Like, I was at the theatre last night, 2 of them that read with us were in now.
Wow.
And it's just,
I love that.
It's a beautiful moment to be able to say that we did that, and we're bringing all these people that opportunities like this. I'm proud of myself saying yes to this. Because this is talking and stuff. I think we always feel like, totally, but we're here and we're just saying yes to everything that makes us feel like we're thriving.
Yeah.
Positive. So yeah, I'm just proud of being here and doing
that.
it.
Yeah. No, it's like, that's powerful. Absolutely.
I think, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say this job, that job, whatever. But I think the day, like you're saying, the day, and it wasn't very long ago, but the day that I realised that I, for the moment, wouldn't have to do anything else, when I could just be actor, writer.
Amazing.
And that moment, you've been trying to do that. That's the dream, right? That's the gig. You get told that's never going to happen. You get told that you can't do that. You get told that you've always got that. And look, it might, I don't know, who knows, right? But like, for the moment, it's all good. And what you were saying about, because the reason that I guess we all crave for that is because then you can focus your whole self on doing everything. You can focus your whole self on this. And yes, I can do this because I don't have to go and work at that bar or do that thing or do that thing. And you can focus your whole self on your art or your play, whatever you're doing, on your writing, whatever you're doing. You can just be that artist. Do you know what I mean? It sounds quite
But that's to
grand,
be celebrated,
you know what I
because
mean?
it's not easy to leave in your other job, your Uber or whatever you're doing. That's
it's a risk.
That needs to
It's
be
a risk.
celebrated.
Yeah.
That is not easy.
Yeah.
So I just I like this. I like what we're doing now, and that was why Hear Me Now was about. Hear Me Now wasn't Hear Me Now actors for black actors, and that was purposely because I was like, because for me, my artistic community, apart from kind of the white people I've met, it was very black. Do you know what I mean? It definitely wasn't Southeast Asian or East Asian, definitely not. I was that person where I've got one Chinese friend, that was it. I didn't, in the artistic community, I had a few South Asian friends, but mainly all black, because it was just like, oh, that's what I'm seeing, and it's not until I'm getting, I'm into the industry more and I'm like, we're sharing stories, and it's like, that happened to you as well, that type of thing, I don't know, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, we actually just did a job where it's one of the most, I think the word diverse is very vague, to be honest.
Of course it is.
But
it was great,
cast I've ever worked with. And I think it's people, it doesn't necessarily have to be us, but I realise now, even though it's hard work, sometimes it does have to be us. It's creating those spaces where we do come, like you've created the space today, where we all come together. So it's making room for us all together to have those discussions and to understand, to meet new people, share different experiences. Be like, oh, I've got this, do you want to come in and do this? Do you know what I mean? I think it's creating a community outside the community. If that makes sense. Because you're quite, until you said that, I was like, you're right, everyone I know, majority reflect me. In this industry. And
that's okay. And there's parts of that you need.
But
100%.
That speaks volumes in itself, because that's how the industry pockets us.
That's exactly.
Why.
That's it.
So we meet the people on those jobs or in those rooms because it's the black space.
That's
today.
the story.
I think it also comes with the agency, having the not stepping into a room and you have to say something about your background. We are so many times have been told to dig up our traumas and put them at the forefront, right? Whereas if we voluntarily be like, oh, actually, this is a safe space. This is a place where I can actually express myself. So let me talk about it. Whereas there have been times when I have to tick a box in order to get funding to tell my story, and it's like, no, I don't feel like I want to.
So I'll just kind of end this part with another quote that I love. You are your best thing. And it's a quote, it's in a book, Toni Morrison's book called Beloved, and it's also the title of a book by Tarana Burke, who started the Me Too movement, the real person that started it, and Brené Brown as well. And I really love that, you are your best thing, and I think about that as myself. I am my best thing, and that's a journey, and we don't always, it takes time to believe that, but you have to think about, the world's going to judge us, of course, the sector will, whatever, so we have to know that we are our best thing. But if we are our best thing, then the sector has to catch up. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to continue to make work and art and continue to be in all of these spaces anyway. And I just think if we think about that mindset more, and I say it's not easy, of course it's not easy, but if we have our tribe, what was your quote about saying no means saying yes to yourself?
Yes,
to yourself.
If we try to put some of these things in place, I really do think that, because it has to start with us, right? And we're not in competition with anybody, And I just think if we're framing that more, I just feel like the sector will catch up.